Welcome everyone to BAB's live announcing of the second of 6 new member committees empowering AIME membership. We're super excited about it. Today we're going to be highlighting the formation of AIME's WMN, the Women's Mortgage Network Committee. My name is Brendan McKay. I'm the president of Broker Advocacy, and today I'm going to be joined by the chair of the WNM committee, Elena Boland. Welcome. And our 2 vice chairs, Melanie Wahlberg and Arlicia Jones. So welcome. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for saying yes to heading this committee. It's an extremely important committee, as all of them are, and thank you for leading it. It's going to be great. We're going to kind of go over what the committee is planning on doing, what we're going to be focusing on, how AIME members can get involved, and all that good stuff. And we're just kind of going to go through the panel and get to know everybody. So first, we're launching AIME's WM committee. And Elena, can you talk a little bit about the purpose of the committee and kind of where your vision for the committee is and all that jazz?
Yeah, I think the main and first goal that we're going to focus on is just increasing the presence of women in leadership roles to further grow the broker channel as a whole. Because really the ultimate goal for our entire network is to grow the broker channel. So if we can just help increase the women presence in the entire channel, that matches up with the Brokers Are Better and AIME core principles, which is the growth mindset.
Awesome. All right, Melanie, you are up. Discuss how women are shaping the future of our industry. Can you give us a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you may or may not know, I've been doing this for like 750 years, give or take. Seems like that sometimes. But this industry is constantly evolving and changing. When I first entered the broker channel, there was very few men, and they were kind of standoffish. It was kind of a competition, and it's constantly evolving and changing. And I love that women now are seen for the intelligence that we have, the ability for us to multitask. God gave us a great skill set when he said, okay, you can have babies, you can nurse them while you're nursing them, you can cook dinner, you can also work. We are great multitaskers, and that's why we're great in this profession. So not sure if that answered your question, kind of got off tangent, but yeah, this is a great opportunity to see more women enter this field and to see us all thrive and grow and lean on each other in that growth.
It answered my question, and I loved your answer. So that's fantastic. And Arlicia, welcome, and tell us why you think there's a need for the committee and where you guys are going to set yourselves apart.
I definitely think there's a need for the committee, establishing like an organization, so to speak, where other individuals can reach out, especially for me. I'm a newbie, and I found the Women's Mortgage Network group, and honestly, it's the best thing that happened to me as a new broker. And so as other individuals enter this industry, they're going to need a space and a place to reach out to. And so that's what this committee will be able to do.
Awesome. Elena, can you talk to us? What's your plan? What are you planning on accomplishing? Where are you looking to hit the ground running? Just, it's a kind of a big open space. And what are you thinking so far?
As far as our game plan and what we want to accomplish, I think the first main goal here is to create an open door for all the women in the group, and not just the women in the group, the leaders in the group, and the men leaders in the Brokers Are Better network and in the AIME community. We want to make sure that people are addressing females as leaders and opening up that discussion and making sure we're included and we're sitting at the table in those discussions so that we're represented well.
Cool. Awesome. And this next question, we're kind of going down the order. It's for Melanie, but I think it's a super important one. And if all you guys have anything to chime into it, I think everyone would love to hear your answer to it. But Melanie, can you talk about your experience as a female leader in the industry, or just a female in the industry?
Yeah. So, when I started doing mortgages, literally the guys, it was like, why are you here? Like I was invading. I felt like it felt like I was invading their space. And a couple of the guys were pretty blatant about it. Like, you shouldn't be here. This is man's territory. And I mean, thankfully, the industry has grown and evolved. We've gotten away from that a little bit. There still are some big ego types, but I think now there's big egos for both men and women. But back when I started doing mortgages a long time ago, that was the general pushback was, you don't belong here. You're a woman, Melanie. You don't belong here. This is a man-dominated industry. You're never going to make any money here because this is what men do. And I set out from day one to prove them wrong and that this was an even playing field. Your intelligence is no greater than mine. And I'm going to use my intelligence and my work ethic, my relationship with God, my relationship with people. And I'm going to do the best I can for myself and my family. So things have constantly changed. We still have a lot of work to do. I'll be honest, when the Women's Mortgage Network first became a thing, I was reluctant to even join because I'm like, I've never really felt that there was a difference between a man and a woman. I never felt that I was any different or any better or any less than. But after joining the group, I'm like, you know what? There are still challenges out there. You know, I'm not that woman who is, you know, trying to originate loans and then in the back closet I'm having to nurse a baby on my break and have to ask for permission for breaks and those kind of things men don't encounter. So there are some differences, and that's why we need this network so that when we have you know, even if it's in our own mindset, a limitation in our own mind, we can bounce it off of each other and we can overcome it together.
Awesome. Yeah, and you have most certainly left all those Neanderthal men in the dust that you referenced in your story. I think that's great. Elena or Arlicia, do you guys have similar experiences or anything to add to that? Or
I think for me, which I think we're going to answer our next question out of this as well. But, you know, when I started, and I've only been in the industry for like 3.5 years, something that I always heard at the beginning was, oh, this is a male-dominated industry. You know, you got to hang with the big dogs. I remember when I left my brokerage prior to me opening my own company, you know, they were like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You know, just ask for a raise. You can't, you know. And I think that, you know, like I said, when I found the Women's Mortgage Network group, I'm like, oh, there's other women who are owners, who are brokers, who are leaders in this industry. And for me, being within the industry and being within the Mortgage Network group, I almost feel like there's this unspoken like standard that we have in the network group that we're here for each other to help each other. And, you know, having a established committee on top of just that silent standard that we have as a group, I think it is really just going to set us apart and allow us to expand as in the industry as a whole.
I think that's awesome. And like you guys have already established yourself as leaders in the community, and this is just make it a little more formal, certainly. But that's awesome. And what you talked about that's happening in WMM, I think Fab is getting better with it. It was not always like that though. It was not always as welcoming as now. And I know that WMN, that's always been the case. So that's awesome. Elena, as far as increasing female presence and like, you know, women in leadership roles to further grow the broker channel, like, tell me about that. Tell me, do you guys have a plan for it? Is it one of the core principles of this committee, or what are your thoughts there?
Absolutely. I think that the key here is organized and sustainable, because right now we're just a group. I think creating the committee in the organized and sustainable fashion is going to show our presence very differently as something that's going to be around long term. There's lots of other broker committees and clubs and groups, et cetera, but there is not any that I know of that are women represented. So this is the first of its kind, and I think just going into it in an organized way is going to put us out there and represent us in the best possible way.
Yep, absolutely. And that is like for sure the overall intent of all these committees, like, you know, going from you know, movement to an organization focus type of thing, and using the power of all the membership. And Melanie, like, you know, a similar type of question, like how do you see the WM committee affecting the broker channel?
Well, I see I kind of monitor off and on all of the conversations that go on there. And I see a lot of changes in women within that group already. I mean, people that are like new, that are just coming in and they're asking questions, they're not sure where to go. And I see other people that have been there a while, other brokers, loan officers, you know, pushing them. Like the sky is the limit. Like if you have questions, ask them. If you want something out of life, go get it. Nobody's going to stand in your way except you. So I think that some of the women that I'm seeing are kind of changing their mindset to like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you guys can do this, you know, and you're younger than me, well then, hey, I can do it too. Because it is all a mindset. Whatever your limitations are, it's in your own mind. There's not going to be a man that's going to hold you back. There's not going to be a parent that's going to hold you back. There's not going to be a degree or a diploma that's going to hold you back. Whatever's going to hold you back is just up here. So seeing all the conversations unfold and the women asking questions and then, you know, excelling and becoming their own broker. Like Arlicia went out on a limb. I know it was scary. It was scary for me when I did it too, 700 years ago. But when you make that leap and you do it, you feel accomplished just for having done it. And then it just continues to look at Arlicia now. I mean, she's more successful than she's ever been. And yes, she's over there on that monitor. Looking at her over there. But I mean, it's really, the sky's the limit. And I love seeing the women interact with each other on the Women's Mortgage Network, because this is just the beginning. The more conversations that unfold, the more women can excel and the more women can change their mindset and go, you know what? I'm going to do bigger, greater, better things. And this is just a stepping stone to get there.
That's awesome. I love it. Arlicia, same question. Like, you know, how do you see the committee like having a tangible impact on the broker channel?
I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, even now, you know, on some of my social media platforms, I have other loan officers who are not, you know, in leadership roles within their organizations. And I'm pushing them. Hey, have you thought about opening your own brokerage? You should join the Women's Mortgage Network group. They have a place where if you're not an owner and you want to own, that they can show you how to do it. I mean, so like I say, just putting the committee in place is just going to excel what I think we are already doing as a whole. Like we're already being somewhat like a committee, just in our own individual selves, reaching out to other individuals within the network, being that help, knowing who we can go ask certain questions to, who can I reach out for this, or who can I ask this question to with that, a lot of inboxing, going back and forth with individuals. So I think having a committee in place to say, hey, this is where you're going to go for this, and this is where you're going to go for that, it's just going to solidify it and, allow this network to expand.
Awesome. All three of you guys, so like all three of you have stepped up big time. Thank you again. But if there's other members of AIME that want to get involved, what are some of the ways they can do it? I open this up to all you guys, but Elena, if you want to start us out.
I think it's just important for everybody, again, to feel that open door policy is there. And the way to help the committee right now to get going is to reach out to all of your members and post, or reach out to us directly. You can DM Arlicia, you can email me, you can text Melanie, in any direction that you want. All of our information is public and available. And you just let us know any call to action that you'd be interested in addressing and hearing. And we want to do that. I want to make sure that we're touching on the things that people are typically scared to talk about, the things that we're taught to avoid and skirt around as loan officers. It's race, it's religion, it's region, the things that we typically aren't supposed to talk about. I want to make sure all those things are represented, and it's not just in those ways. It's, sometimes you feel like you don't deserve success. I grew up super dirt poor, and then as soon as I became a professional, I was backed heavily by a man. He gave me every opportunity that I could ask for. So I have a different experience, but sometimes I feel less than or undeserving because I grew up poor. I shouldn't have this type of success. So I want to make sure that every different type of diversification is touched and represented well in any way that you can think of, and make sure to talk to us about those things and reach out. And if you don't feel comfortable reaching out, you can post too, and you can be vague and be general, and we'll make sure that you are talked to and helped and supported in any way that we can.
Awesome.
I love that, Elena, about, diversification, because a lot of times, I think when you hear the word, you automatically go to race, but it's more than that. I too had a same similar way of growing up, and I sometimes feel the same way about my success, especially being someone new in the industry. And sometimes you hear people who are struggling in the industry, and I think that wasn't necessarily my story. And we have, especially it's 2021, so we know diversification is so many different things: sex, race, gender, all of these different things that I think individuals in the mortgage industry, they automatically put themselves in some of those buckets. I'm a Black female who owns a mortgage company, or I'm a gay male who owns a mortgage company. I mean, so when you talk about diversification, there's so many different avenues that we want to make sure everybody is represented within. So I just appreciate you having a different outlook on it as well.
It's awesome. Awesome. Melanie, do you have anything to add there?
No, I agree with what she just said. Arlicia hit that nail on the head. I mean, I don't have a college diploma nor a high school diploma, which most people are not aware of. So, there's so many different, diversification, like she said, there's so many different avenues to success, and really our own limitations. Our success all boils down to us. There's the gender, the race, the sexual orientation, the degree. None of that matters. It's just what you want out of life and how hard you're willing to work for it. The connections that you make along the way are a big, big part of success. And this committee and the Women's Mortgage Network and the connections there are going to help a lot of people to flourish and achieve their own success.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited for this committee. I obviously, I'm not directly in WNM, but my mom is, who's my business partner, and she's been kicking ass in this industry for longer than she would like me to say. She's the one that brought me into this industry. So I have a lot of respect for you guys and everything that we're doing and everything this committee is all about. So thank you once again for stepping up and agreeing to become leaders. And we have been super thoughtful about picking out leadership for all the committees, this one included, as well as the members of the committee. And we want everyone getting involved. And part of the thought process has been, we want, hopefully you're comfortable with reaching out to any of the leaders about getting involved. But if not, I know all of them are open to you, and reach out to whoever you're most comfortable with for sure. AIME is going to continue to unveil more details about the remaining member committees. We got more to come. We've done 2 so far with WNM. In the government affairs. We have 4 more coming down the pipeline as we're leading up to National Mortgage Brokers Day on July 18th. Each committee is going to be responsible for different targeted topics to, maintaining wholesale channels continuation and the unbelievable growth that we've had, and just, keeping organized, keeping the reins in, and making sure all the voices are heard. AIME is an association made up of its membership. And we want to take additional steps to make sure that what AIME is doing is a reflection of what's important to the members. And the committees are a really, really big way for that happening. So I'm unbelievably excited about it, and hopefully all the membership is as well. We're going to be, as I said, announcing these 6 committees made up of all members throughout it, just all brokers. Even bigger changes to the things that are most important to independent mortgage brokers. Thank you. Thank you, the 3 of you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And don't forget, brokers are better. Cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.